All right, welcome to Maverick and Dempsey's rundown. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to discuss, so we're going to run through real quickly. All right, so last night was the big UFC pay per view with Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. There she is, sneaking up behind me. All right, so let's start with some prelim bouts. That not all of them. We're not going to run through all of them because UFC has big cards. All right, so Michael Chandler got a huge victory last night when he beat Dan Hooker. All right, and he knocked him out in the first round. That was the biggest news of that fight because Dustin Poirier, who we're going to talk about in a second, as Poirier and Dan Hooker went the distance in a hell of a slugfest. But Michael Chandler got him out of there. The former Bellator champion, Michael Chandler, got him out of there in the first round. So that's a big deal. And now he's already asking for a title shot. There's already talks about him getting a shot at the title. The title's vacant right now, but giving a new champion because. Khabib Nurmagomedov, sorry, it took me a second to prep myself to say that name. Khabib, however you want to pronounce it, he's off in Russia right now with the belt. So there's going to be a new champion. So who would Michael Chandler be competing for that new title with, against, or with in the rankings, depending on what matchups they set up for it? Well, that leads us to the main event of last night's pay-per-view, and that was the notorious Conor McGregor, Mystic Mac, versus Diamond Dustin Poirier, or Dustin the Diamond Poirier. All right, Lafayette's own. Hey, that's where I originally trained to be a boxer. Yay. All right, so I like both these cats in this. I'm from Louisiana, but I'm also Irish, so I'm for both these cats. So it was going to be an interesting fight. The first time they met a few years ago, Conor McGregor knocked Dustin Poirier out in the first round. It was kind of a shock loss, or not a shock that it happened, but a shock the way it happened. Now he's the favorite, but a lot of people are thinking this could go the distance. It may not be a knockout. Well, boom, it was a knockout. This time it was the second round, and this time it was Dustin the Diamond knocking out Mystic Mac in the second round. He TKO'd him. Technical knockout, but it might as well have just been a regular knockout. He took him out. It was a huge shocked a lot of people. It was a big upset. Dustin has been on a roll. I think he's won 6 of his last 7 fights. And, okay. And it was he's improved enough, obviously, and Conor McGregor taking over a year off. I think it was a 371-day layoff. Definitely hurt him. That's what he blamed it on, taking the layoff, maybe changing sparring partners in his team. That was something or maybe that was just a shot from Khabib after the fight. But because I don't know if he really changed his team or changed the people in his team, but that was a shot that Khabib took via the internet, of course. So, and the little side note I have to say about that is, Khabib, if you're going to keep talking crap about the fighters, why don't you actually step back in and fight them? Of course, I'm talking crap about Khabib saying that, but I'm really just saying if you're going to talk the mess, then why don't you step into the mess and do it yourself, right? So anyway, back to the fights from last night. So Conor McGregor, the notorious Conor McGregor, got defeated. It seems it's going to set up for a trilogy, and we'll see what happens with the title. Michael Chandler, like I said, already called out the winner, so now he's asking for Dustin. And Dustin said he's not interested in it. He feels like it'd be taking a step back. I disagree. I think what you did in Bellator should matter just because you have a new brand on your company. I think we'll look to pro wrestling. I know pro wrestling isn't MMA, but they definitely borrow some things from it. And if you came in as the top star of WCW into WWE, or WWF back then, you were going to get a title shot soon enough. You were still a big star. You look back at Ric Flair in the early 90s. Well, I don't know what you're clicking. Could you stop the clicking in the background? All right, so if you came over from a wrestling company, you were going to be a big star. You were going to challenge for the title. Maybe they would make you look small like Booker T in the invasion angle of the early 2000s in WWE. Or maybe you look like $1 million, like I mentioned before, like Ric Flair did in the early 90s. But you were seen by the fans as a top guy, so they'd put you in a top guy position. That, in my opinion, is what's happening here. I think most fans, most hardcore fans at least, are going to see Michael Chandler as a top guy. They're not going to think, oh, that's Bellator, that doesn't matter. Maybe a casual fan will, but not a hardcore fan. So I think Michael Chandler is being seen as a top star and should get in there with Dustin Poirier, and that should be the next match. If not, you could go the Charles Oliveira route, but I'd like to see Michael Chandler, and I think Dustin's in trouble. I mean, the guy that Michael Chandler knocked out in the first round last night was a guy, like I said before, took Dustin the limit. So it's definitely an interesting matchup, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, on to Championship Sunday, all right? The first game's kicking off right now, so we're not going to take too much longer to talk about it, but we're going to run through real quick because that's what we do here. All right, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Green Bay Packers. It's Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. The GOAT, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, versus the man that's proclaimed as the most talented quarterback of all time, whatever that's supposed to mean. Who's only got the one ring, though, and that's the big fault on him. So this is his chance to rewrite the history books, win this game, go on to the Super Bowl, possibly win against Kansas City or Buffalo. We'll find out later tonight. And then he'll have that second ring, and the second ring means a lot more than the first. That separates you from many of the rest. And then you can talk about Aaron Rodgers as a possible GOAT. But the real GOAT, my GOAT, Tom Brady, with his 6 rings, has a chance to crack into the 7. Now, he's already rewritten the history books. He's already done things that'll never be matched again, and now he's doing it on a second team. If he wins today, he beats what Joe Montana did, where he went to the Kansas City Chiefs back in the 90s and then took them to the AFC Championship before losing to Buffalo Bills. I don't know. I was a kid. I don't remember. But anyway, I think it was the Buffalo Bills. It probably was. Buffalo Bills were winning every AFC Championship that's seen back in the early 90s. So Tom Brady once again has a chance to rewrite the history books and be the first to do something. He's been the first to do many things in his career, and now has a chance to be the first again, which is definitely going to be a driving force in him. The Tampa Bay does not have Antonio Brown. They're not going to have him. They did get their other running back, Rolando, whatever his name is, Orlando Brown, I don't know, something like that. But I'm focused on Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, LSU Tigers graduate. Leonard Fournette, or not graduate, drafted in the sorry. I'm trying to run through a little bit too fast. Leonard Fournette, LSU Tiger. He's going to be in the running back in the top position, I believe. Playoff Lenny had a great showing last week. It was the game of his career so far in Tampa Bay, maybe even in the NFL period. And we're going to see what he can do now because he has stepped up his game in the playoffs. So we're hoping that continues. Like I said before, Antonio Brown's out, but you have the other loaded wide receiver track with Mike Evans. You got Gronk in there. You got Godfrey. You got enough there, hopefully, to take down Green Bay because we are Tommy fans here. This is news report. This is opinion, and we are Brady fans. In the game after that, Patrick Mahomes, allegedly healthy Patrick Mahomes, will be taking on the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. I'm looking for the upset here. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have been playing it a little too close with way too many teams here. I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to call. You know what? Tag with it. I'm not Mystic Mac. I'm not the guy that claims to make the predictions that always turn out true. I was wrong last night about the main event with Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. So I will go out on a ledge today, and I will say Tampa Bay. I'm not going to bet against Tommy. Tampa Bay takes down Green Bay, and the Buffalo Bills in the second upset of the day takes out the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm either going to look like a genius or I'm going to look like an idiot after this, but we'll see. All right, you got anything to add?
No.
All right, she's out of ideas today, all right? So, enjoy Championship Sunday, and we'll get back to you. Well, we'll see you when we see you.
Goodbye.